Alright guys, so we're out here today doing a little catfishing. This rod here just dumped. I had ambitions of doing a little sauger fishing for you guys, but that really didn't pan out. The sauger just are not out on the flats yet, so hopefully a couple more weeks they'll be out, and then we'll get you guys some sauger videos. But went ahead and came out here and we're doing a little drifting again here, fishing these spawning catfish. This rod here just went off and it looks like it's a real nice eater here. So I'm not gonna keep many, but I am gonna keep just a couple to eat tonight, just to fry up. So 2 or 3 of these guys here will do just fine for me for supper. So anyway, you guys are just gonna stick with me this evening, and we're just gonna have a nice little drift here. It's really windy out here. I was trolling out on the main lake and there was like 2.5, 3 footers, so I came in here and did this drift against the bank, and just got started really, and produced this nice fish. So we're gonna get him in the on ice, and then hopefully we'll catch just a few more. Like I said, I'm gonna keep a couple to eat, but the rest are gonna go back. All right, so no sooner than I threw that fish in a live well. I hadn't really intended on catching catfish, so I didn't bring ice with me. We're just gonna throw them in the live well and deal with them. But you can see I didn't even get that rod set back out. And the next rod, which would be the middle planer board, it went off. And he seems to be just a little bit more of a substantial fish, so we'll reel him in and see what we got here. So what I'm doing today, guys, is I'm running 2 planer boards and one off the back, just free lining. We can use 3 rods here in Illinois, and what I'm doing is I'm just drifting this wind-blown bank here, and I'm catching fish. Like I said, I came out here with the intentions of catching a few saugers, but that bite is not really going right now. So I came to a bite that I knew was going to be a good bite, which has been this catfish bite. I've been on this bite now for about the last, I don't know, 3 weeks or so, and this will kind of save the day, so to speak. At least it'll get a video for you guys. So nice big hunk of shad here. I think that's an 8 or a 9/0 circle hook. That's a good 5 or 6 pound fish there. So throw him in the box there, and boy, just like that, I've got dinner, so I don't have to worry about that. Like I said, I just started my drift, so anyway, I'm gonna get this boat back squared up here. I'm drifting with the wind, just because the way it's blowing around, it's kind of got the boat acted all dog legs. So one nice thing I can do here is I can take these paddles and I can drop them down. These are the paddles that I built into this boat. And they act as like poor man's power poles. So you guys will see the terrain start to change here in just a second. Because that boat is going to slowly start swinging around because of the drag. I'm only moving like 0.6 mile an hour right now just because of the wind, but this boat will start to swing because I put those paddles in the water. And like I said, they're poor man's power poles. They're nothing real fancy at all, but you know, they didn't cost me $4 grand either. So I don't even have the trolling motor running right now because the wind is pushing me so hard that it would, I'd be going too fast, so I'm just drifting. So anyway, I'm gonna get these lines set back up and hopefully we'll catch a couple more fish for you guys. All right, guys, so want another couple of minutes here. And this planer board just dumped. And this feels like a little better fish, so. Oh, he just came off. Maybe he's swimming at me. Oh, I think he's swimming at me, guys. Thought I lost him there. No, he's still on there. He's swimming at me. He's swimming at me, so I'll take that planer board off. Leave tension on that line. He's definitely still on there. Fighting pretty good too. Let's see what we got. That's a nice little guy. Don't do what I just did. Don't try to flip them fish. These are extra heavy rods, but don't do that. You can break a rod real easy. So there we go. There's you know, what, 3/4 length of my arm. Nice fish there. So I got dinner in a matter of about 5 minutes. I've got dinner, so that's cool. So I'm gonna throw them in the live well there. Like I said, guys, in that last video or the video before or something like that, if I'm coming out here targeting catfish, I like to use ice. I don't like to bleed fish. I'd bring a cooler of ice with me. You know, we got these ice houses around here. You can go get 20 pounds of ice for like $2, $2.50 or something like that. Throw it in a cooler. You can throw all your fish on ice, and that cold water will suck all the blood to them, to the center of them, and then whenever you clean them, you don't have you know, a bloody fish. I anticipate on coming out here and bringing you guys a sauger fishing video. My first time of the year trying for them, and I think I'm just a little early. I was going off of my my pictures from years past, and I think everything's just running late this year. So what I'll do is I don't really keep like a journal per se, but I like to take pictures of all my catches at the end of the day, and I'll build an album with just fish catch pictures in my phone. And then what I can do with that is I can look at that from years to past, and it records the date, and I can kind of get a general idea. You know, if I have you know, 2 solid weekends of catching catfish, I know I've been on the catfish, and I'll throw a jug in there or something and just kind of give me a little note, you know, how I caught them. Did I catch them drifting? Did I catch them jugging? You know, just little things like that. And it really kind of helps you pattern these fish, you know, without having to do a whole hell of a lot of work, you know. So came out here. This time last year I was catching sauger on the flats. This year seems a little late, but there's always the catfish to come out here and catch, so that's what we're doing. And now I've got dinner, so that's all cool. So you guys can see what I did just there. I've got my 3 rods still out to the side because I'm still fishing the bank side here. These fish still haven't pushed out in the main lake. Whenever they push out in the main lake, I'll have a real wide spread on each side of the boat. But what I did was I just took my inside rod, connected it to the planer board, let it run out, and then I'll rebait this rod, and then I'll just throw it directly behind the boat as my 3rd rod. So super efficient little way there. You know, you don't end up with a lot of lines tangled. All right, so this rod here just went off. And this rod here's got a bite going on it, so this is just a little bitty bit of a guy here. And I'm saying I ran through a double, kind of a spawning pair, and that's what I got. So this is just a little bitty guy. This is what you'd call a fiddler. I don't mess with these guys. A lot of people like to fry them whole, cut the heads off of them and fry them whole. I'm worried about the fillet, the big meat. But this was, if you guys are concerned, an 8/0 hook that caught this little fish. So these little hooks will catch big fish, small fish, whatever, as long as you hook your bait right. But this little guy here, we'll let him grow up. I'm not that worried about him. And we'll catch him another time, so to speak. So honestly, this piece of bait here has only been out for like not even 10 minutes. So I'm gonna just go ahead and throw that bait back out. And we'll just give her a good little sling back there behind the boat. Roughly 60 foot or so. I'm in about 10.5 feet of water. Slowly pushing myself out to deeper water here. And I've noticed a quick trend already in just a little bit that I've covered this fishing today is, that was what, my 4th fish. That was my 4th fish. And all 4 fish have come off the 2 inside rods. So I'm slowly working the boat out in deeper water. I'm thinking these fish are kind of done up real shallow. So we're just gonna slowly keep working our way out. And basically what will happen is, over the next 2-3 weeks or so, as the shad come off the bank and as the shad move out to the center of the lake, as the catfish get done spawning, everything will go out to the main lake. And that's what we'll start drifting, you know, for the rest of the summer, basically, is out in the big lake. But right now we're just kind of just following the fish, you know, they're coming off the bank. So I mean, I work, you know, I only get to fish during the weekends. Maybe every once in a while I get to fish during the week, but for the most part, all my fishing trips are at least 5 days apart. So it changes, you know, every 5 days. So what was last week is now see that fit? See that planer board right out there? See it dipping? Boom, boom, boom. See it hitting real hard. That's got a fish on it. So I usually let these with these circle hooks. There's no hurry to get to that rod, right? I usually let them dump it 3 or 4 good times, and that way it gets that hook set in their mouth. So he's dumped it 3 or 4 times. So he's good and hooked. You can see I didn't set the hook at all. Take the clicker off the reel and reel him in. Just keep steady pressure on him, you know. But there's no sense in setting the hook on a fish that's hooked with a circle hook. So this feels like a fair fish. I get a lot of people wondering, asking why I don't use the releases on my planer boards. Very simply, guys, if you guys see the amount of boat wake and boat traffic, I've tried to use the release, and what happens is you get those big wind surges or boat wake surges, and it pops the planer boards off, you know, and it just becomes an inconvenience. So, you know, I'm not fishing for 100-pound blues. We don't have them here. We have channel cats. A big channel cat's 20 pounds. So I've got this boat going crooked. Let me straighten it out. So I just go ahead and I just fight the planer board in. It's just easier. You know, you get a big boat surge and it'll pop that planer board off, then you're reeling planer boards in. I mean, I'm dragging, you know, 1.5 ounce weight plus the bait, so I got a pretty good pull. And whenever I go out deep, I'll throw 3 ounces on, so. Another pretty good fish. Let's just lift him in here. Couple 3-pounder. You can see he's hooked really well. So. I actually just texted a buddy of mine, and he's out here fishing as well. He's over on the other side of the lake, and he said, heck yeah, keep them fish, I'll take them. So I am going to keep a few fish here, and I've got my 3 for my supper, and I'm going to give him, you know, what I catch after the fact. So we'll throw him in live well. Like I said before, guys, I normally throw them on ice, but we've got 78-degree water, so they don't live long in a live well, even with it circulating. I've got this live well circulating every 30 seconds, but catfish will stay alive longer than most fish, but they still, 78-degree water, they won't last. Especially, it's very hard to tell exactly how rough it is out here on the camera, but you got the constant boat traffic beating by, and they just kind of get beat up in the live well. So, like I said, this was more or less an impromptu catfishing trip, so to speak, but you know, you've always got to have a fallback, and it's too windy for me to really be out on my brush piles crappie fishing, so we came out here, and our fallback today is channel cat. And you know, it's something I know, it's something I'm pretty proficient at, and it's gonna kind of save the day. All right, so I'm gonna get that other rod baited up. I've got to cut another piece of bait here. Let me step by you guys. So I got another piece of bait cut right here. These are just shad I caught on my way back out from the main lake to come up in here, and they're nice, good shad. They're good sized shad right now, like 10-inch shad. So that's a good, pretty good shad there. We'll just swap those guys out, give a little sling out. 55-60 feet. We're still in about 11 foot of water. Hit that clicker. That rod's went out good enough. Hit that clicker, and we'll sit down and hope for another one. All right, guys. So I just reeled in this middle board because it got hit real hard, and then it just kind of went dead. So I was checking for bait, and actually it was twisted up a little bit there. So check that sucker for bait. And as I was reeling in, and this rod here just went off, and it dumped pretty hard. So let's just see what we got here. A little smaller fish. He came right up. Couple of pounds, nothing special. Just go ahead and let him go. Fish are running just a little bit smaller today, and my guess is that the big ones are actually spawning. You know, this is kind of a process. It's been a couple of weeks. Last week I did real well on the size. My average was very good, and I mean the biggest fish I got today so far, which I've only been doing this about 45 minutes, but the biggest fish so far today is only about 5 or 6 pounds. So the average is definitely not where it was a week ago, and that's kind of typical for a catfish spawn. So anyway, still putting some fish in the boat. I think that's what, seven fish now. So we'll let this line out. I've got to cut up another shad here, and we'll get back to fishing. All right, so something funky just happened with this rod. Had a strong hit on it, and then it kind of like planed back, like it was dragging real heavy. So I don't know if it's a small fish. I definitely feel weight on it now. We'll just see exactly what it is here. Does not feel very big, whatever it is. Unless it's just swimming at the boat. These fish will do occasionally. Let's see, got me all tangled up here. So let's address that. That's a good one. I got some hectic situations going on. I got this rod here is hung up. A lot of times it's just that bottom bouncer, and you can pull them off. But that's a nice fish there. Huh. We'll give him a trip home. I've got my eaters. You guys didn't see off camera, but I just delivered fish there to a buddy. He came by and got a few before he headed out for the evening. So I've got my 3 in the live well for my supper, and the rest this evening are just gonna be just let go. So that's cool. All right, let's get things back in line here. At least get some baits in the water. Yeah, that was a funny bite. He just I saw the planer board dump, and it just slowly drifted back, but he never really fought it. So yeah, that was a nice fish. Get this rig here baited back up. And we'll be good to go. Probably got another half hour or so of daylight I can fish here, and hopefully get you guys a couple more catches anyway. And then yeah, back to work tomorrow. So yay. All right, so just almost right on cue. This outside board just dumped, and it ripped it back pretty good. So very well could be a nice fish here. The average has been all over the board today. Caught three really nice fish. I've caught 3 small fish. I've caught some medium fish. It's just there's been no real consistency to it, but it's been fishing. Yeah, I've only been fishing for just over an hour, so. Anyway, guys, I will try to get you guys a sauger fishing video. I'm gonna try to mix up some species here. You know, I love my catfishing, but I also want to mix it up. So this fish is pulling hard. Make sure my drag's good. What are you, guy? Woo. That is a good specimen. I'm gonna go ahead and dip this guy. That's a nice fish. That's pushing 9 pounds there. Big old circle hook right in his mouth there. And check that fish out, guys. That's a dandy. This fish could have very well spawned and is feeding up, but that's a good fish. Oh. We'll let him go back out there and eat. I would say I release just as many fish in the year as I take. Which, whatever. I mean, not that I have to justify it to you guys, but I do release a lot of fish. So that was a nice fish. Let's sling this bait back out here. And so I'm running a heavier planer board, and what I do whenever I set this planer board out is I run a heavier rod. This is an extra heavy rod on my outside, and I run just heavies on the inside just to give myself a little bit more action. But what I do is I'll take and I'll throw that bait out perpendicular to the boat, because I never quit moving. You know, I'm always constantly drifting. And then that gives me, you know, my planer boards are way back there, probably 60 or 70 feet. And then I'll take and I'll put the planer board on, and I'll just slowly kind of release the planer board out. And what that does is that allows that planer board to stretch out there without getting tangled up in these back two lines. And that bait, it's moving, but it's got that long of a time to get back to the other baits, if that makes sense. And it works really well. You just kind of gotta feather that rod there, that planer board out just a little bit. It just takes just a little bit more. And you know, I could just run all the same weight rods, but I like fighting fish, you know, and I like fighting them on you know, an equivalent rod. So that's why, you know, I'm really just matching the rod more to the planer board than I am to the fish per se, because I mean the planer board's what's dragging the rod down all the time. So get that sucker, I just keep feeding it out a little bit, and I'll stop it, let it plane itself out. I'm going so slow right now, and all the wind from the lake's pushing me this way, so it's kind of a funky little situation, but you know, it all works out. All right. Oh, let's see. That rod there is still going out. This rod here just dumped, and I mean, it dumped hard. I don't know if I got into a little better run of fish here the last little bit, but yeah, this fish here, he pulled drag. He's pulling hard. It's a good fish. There he is out there on the surface. Ooh, that's a good one, guys. That, we may have to weigh that one for you guys. I'm thinking that's gonna be over that 10-pound range, which is kind of like my borderline on this lake. Good fish. We got a big old head on that. That's a nice channel. Let's see here. Let's dip that fish. Yeah, that's a good one. Myself squared away here. I'm going all wonky with the wind, but yeah, that is a good fish, guys. That is a good channel cat right there. That let's weigh that fish. Because that's the biggest one that I've caught in a couple of trips anyway. So he's 10-2-0, guys, if you guys can see that, 10-2-0. So just over 10 pounds. That's, like I said, that benchmark 10-pounder. A tournament on this lake will get won by 5 10-pound fish. So yeah, that's a nice fish there. That that's a big old channel cat. That's a pretty good fish. anywhere you go. But yeah, so this has turned out just nice. Yeah, I'm glad I came out here and did this. Pretty good little evening. As I said before, any fish over 10 pounds, I definitely release on this lake. That's a nice channel. Anywhere you go, you see that nice big fat belly. So there he goes, there he swims. I gotta kind of get my stuff all situated back again, but yeah, it turned out to be a nice evening. All right, guys, so this rod here just dumped. Seems to have a fairly good sized fish on it there. And this will probably be the last fish for the evening. It's getting pretty late for the camera. I can start seeing it get real dark. But anyway, came out here this evening, and like I said, I had all intentions of trying to make a sauger fishing video for you guys, but you know, they're just not out there yet. So once I get out there on the flats and I can troll them up for you guys, I'll definitely be sure to bring you along for that. This is a pretty good fish here. So anyway, use the catfish as a backup. It's always a fun good time, and this is another real nice fish. The average started out a little shabby, but it's definitely picked up. So let's reach down and grab him. He's hooked real good. But yeah, there we go. I don't know, what is that? That's over 10, I think, isn't it? In just a short time. It's what time is it actually? It's 7:45 right now. We'll let this guy go, but that's a good 5-pounder. So anyway, started fishing. I started doing this this catfishing at 6 o'clock, so not quite 2 hours, and you know, I've caught pretty good amount of fish. I kind of lost track, to be honest. I'll have to look back and see. I mean, I did catch, but yeah, this was a fun little outing, guys. I'm gonna stay and fish for probably another 15 or 20 minutes. I've still got just a little bit of sun left. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I know this was kind of a little impromptu, just kind of turned the camera on kind of video, but you know, it turned out pretty good. Got to catch quite a few fish, and you know, had a good evening. So anyway, guys, I just want to thank everybody who's been viewing here lately. The channel has actually grown quite a bit in the last month or so, so very happy about that. I just want to say thank you to all you new people, and you know, as always, thank you to those who you know, who's been with me for a long time. So I just got a new editing program this past week, and hopefully it'll make the editing a little quicker, because as many of you guys know, you know, I work a full-time job. I work 45 to 50 hours a week, and I have a pretty good drive to do it. So trying to put 2 videos out a week, you know, and then the editing on top of that, it takes up so much time. So hopefully this new editing program will try to, you know, limit the amount of editing time I have in a week. So we'll see, but stick with me on that. The videos may be kind of, you know, shaky till I learn this new program, but hopefully it will, you know, kind of maximize my editing. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off for tonight. Well, that rod just went off, so let's catch one more fish, huh? Oh, he's really pulling too. Let's catch one more fish for you guys. And that'll be 2 doubles on this impromptu trip. And I think we can just call that a good trip, huh? I think so. Let's move that rod out of the way. This fish is pulling pretty hard, really. Should be a fair fish. Fun fighting them, I'll tell you that. This catfishing on the boards is, well, that's a good fish. He's already made it to the surface out there, and I'm in 11 feet of water, so. Nice swimming right at the boat. That's one thing about them channels, they'll swim right at the boat. You gotta keep tension on them. Oh boy, I'm making a mess of this now. Got the line all tangled up. Got him over that rod. Well, this last fish is really gonna give me a hassle, guys. It's a good one to end on, though. I will say that. Let's lift that fish up here. That's a nice fish. So there we go, guys. There's a nice fish. We'll let him go back, swim. So for the second time tonight, I'll try to sign off. I want to thank everybody who's been viewing. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, that thumbs up button. It really helps this video get recognized. I would really appreciate it. If you're new to the channel and you like what you see, by all means consider subscribing. I do a wide variety of outdoor related content. So anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed. I'm signing off. Until next time, I appreciate each and every one of you.